When an empath finally refuses to be controlled, the narcissist experiences something they never expected: fear, panic, a sudden loss of their imagined power. For so long, they've thrived on the empath's kindness, their willingness to understand, forgive, and absorb emotional chaos. But the moment that empath decides to step out of that role, to no longer carry the narcissist's projections, to no longer validate their ego, the entire dynamic crumbles. Narcissists depend on control the way most people depend on oxygen. It keeps their fragile self-image intact. Through manipulation, guilt, and emotional distortion, they construct a world where they're the center and everyone else revolves around their needs. Empaths, with their deep compassion and desire to heal, become the perfect match, at least until they wake up. When an empath begins to see through the illusion, the narcissist senses the shift immediately. The warmth that once surrounded them turns cool. The constant reassurance stops. The empath's eyes no longer reflect admiration. They reflect truth. And for a narcissist, truth is terrifying. They begin to lose their emotional grip, and that's when panic sets in. They might start love bombing again, promising change, using nostalgia or guilt to lure the empath back. If that fails, they may swing to rage or smear campaigns, desperate to destroy what they can no longer possess. Their fragile ego can't handle rejection, especially from the very person who once fed their sense of superiority. It's not love they feel, it's withdrawal from the emotional supply that sustained them. They crave control, and when that control is gone, they unravel. For the empath, this stage is both painful and liberating. They may feel guilt, confusion, or even sorrow for setting boundaries. But in truth, this is the moment they reclaim their power, the power that was slowly drained through cycles of manipulation and emotional exhaustion. Refusing to be controlled doesn't make an empath cold or cruel. It makes them conscious. It means they've learned that compassion without boundaries becomes self-destruction. The narcissist will often test these new boundaries, trying every trick in the book to regain dominance: gaslighting, emotional blackmail, or even pretending to play the victim. But the empath who's awakened no longer dances to their chaos. They observe without reacting, they listen without absorbing, and they love themselves enough to walk away from toxicity. In that silence, in that unshakable calm, the narcissist meets their deepest fear: insignificance. Without someone to mirror their false greatness, they are left alone with the emptiness they've always been running from. The empath's refusal to be controlled exposes the narcissist's illusion for what it truly is: a fragile facade built on dependency, fear, and deceit. And that's why when the empath stands tall, detached, and self-assured, the narcissist panics. Because they realize the very person they tried to break is now the one who holds the real power. Not through manipulation, but through peace. The empath's light, once used against them, now becomes their greatest shield. And for the narcissist, that light is blinding. A reminder that they can no longer control what was never theirs to own.